In this video, we will have a look at the randomizer. As the name suggests, this plugin will randomize the incoming MIDI messages in real time. What it will randomize can be selected by the event type menu. So by default, it will randomize the velocity. When you click on it, a list of all the available options appears. Now underneath that, we have the input range sliders. Here we can set the upper and lower limit range only for the values that we want to affect. Anything outside that range will be bypassed. For example, as it is right now, it will affect everything because it is set from 0 to 127. If we set the low limit to 50, for example, and I can either drag it or I can simply just type it in. Let's go 50. All of the notes that have a velocity of 50 and lower will not be affected by the randomizer. Also, we can set the lower input slider higher than the high input slider. So I can take this one all the way down here. And this way, anything that is within the range of these two will not be affected. And only the values outside of it will be affected. And you can also get some visual representation of it. This orange bar here means that these values will be randomized. Now let's go back. And underneath that, we get the amount slider. Here we can set the intensity of the randomization. Now, as you can see, as I move this one up and down, we get this orange box here giving us visual feedback. That shows us all the possible random values in comparison with the unprocessed signal, which is dead line in the center. If I take it all the way down, you can see this little line here. And that's it. And then underneath that, we get the weight slider. That can be used to increase the chance that whatever is randomized will be in the selected area. So if I take this slider up, for example, then it is more likely that it will randomize my events based on the values that I have here on this area. In the center, at 0%, you don't favor any of the high or low values and they are being randomly selected. As with the previous plugins, we also get an output offset slider in case we want to offset our values by either a negative or a positive value. And lastly, there is a hidden menu. So if you click on this arrow here, we can select the seed. The seed is the starting point for our randomization. If it is on random, as it is right now, then each time we play it back, it will be different. And if we set, I don't know, let's say 22, if we set a seed point of 22, then the randomization will be the same every time. And you can test that by bouncing your region in place twice. So if I set that specific seed, like this one, then both new audio regions will be identical. And if you set to random, then each new region will be different. So let's play around with it a bit and see how we can use it. And let's actually use the previous example from the Transposer video. Let's have a listen first. Okay, so what to do? Let's use the note number from the event type. And then while having the amount to 0, let's actually listen to what happens when I slowly raise it back as I play it. Yeah, as you can hear, it gets pretty wild very fast. Even after 5, it gets crazy. So let's tame it a bit. Let's go all the way down. Let's do 4. And let's play with the input range. So let's actually look at the piano roll. So this is my bass down here. Let's say that I do not want to affect that. So C3, which is actually C4, because of my settings, it is displayed as C3, is number 60 on MIDI. So I know that E flat will be 1, 2, 3, so 63. So what I can do is to set my low input at 63. There you go. So now everything below 63 will not be affected. So essentially this bass here will be exactly the way I played it. Only the notes above that will be affected. So let's have a listen and just listen for the bass. Yeah, it is the same, but above that there's chaos. Now, and here's what we talked in the previous video, we can actually combine it with other plugins. We can use the transposer in order to have the randomized notes conform to a specific scale. So let's actually open the transposer as well. There you go. So this example is in G minor, so I'm going to select G as my root, and then let's look at the scales we have here. Let's actually try a few. Let's do, I don't know. Okay, it's getting somewhere. No, Lydian. See, you are randomizing it and then you're conforming it to a specific scale, and you get lots of weird stuff. Maybe you're gonna get a happy accident, you don't know. So right now what happens is we have the base notes not being affected by the randomizer, and then we have the notes above that be affected and then be conformed into a scale by the transposer. And lastly, as with all the plugins we have used so far, they can be used anywhere, either on other plugins or virtual instruments. So let's look at an example. So let's close this too, and let's use this example. So I have an Alchemy patch loaded up, and let's actually have a listen. Let's bring the cutoff up a bit. So let's actually now combine these effects. So let's use the MIDI effects. Let's use the randomizer, and let's use a modulator. Let's put that before though. Okay, let's see. Let's bring everything up so we can look at them. Now let's change the settings a bit. So I want these to go to, let's control the mod wheel. So the way it will be like right now, we will have the mod wheel go through the whole chain. So the mod wheel on Alchemy will control the cutoff. That will be modulated by the LFO of the modulator, and that will be randomized by the randomizer. And let's actually change the settings a bit. So right now it's a bit too fast. Let's take it down. Let's make it much slower. That looks okay. Let's take the steps down so it becomes more steppy. We will see about the output later in the input range. I don't want to go all the way up, so I'm going to take it down a bit. So let's say, yes, that sounds good. That looks good, doesn't sound good yet. It goes crazy pretty fast, so let's do, I don't know, somewhere in the 20s, that's fine. Now, the way it is right now, and if you look at the cutoff at Alchemy, the cutoff will go crazy, and then for the values above 83, it will open up the filter smoothly, or depending on the steps per LFO cycle. Let's have a look. And also let's have a listen. And if I don't want the cutoff to go all the way up to its maximum value, I can simply take down the output level on the LFO. And now you see it doesn't go all the way up. And that is pretty much everything you need to know about the randomizer. If you are into experimentation or aleatoric music, aleatoric meaning music that leaves a big part of the composition to chance, this is a great plugin to use.